Live from Mulkany Stadium here in Anchorage, Alaska. It's the Matsu Miners taking on the Anchorage Bucs. Hello and welcome into our broadcast, everybody. Connor Mills alongside Brad Walker with you. This is the second time the Miners will be facing the Bucs, second time this week. Last game, the Miners defeated them 8-5. And we're going to go through our starting lineup. So leading us off at shortstop, Drew Swift. Batting second in left field, Danny Wright. Batting third, the designated hitter, Spencer Henson. Batting fourth in right field, Hunter Jump. The number 5 batter at third base, Tyler Bazzetti. After him at first base, Aaron Walters. Batting seventh, the catcher, David Avitia. After Avitia, it's going to be Kono Quiggle. He's in center. And then Brett Owen is at second base. On the mound for the Miners, Brady Corrigan. Then on the mound for the Bucs, facing off against Drew Swift, will be Grant Cox. Grant Cox from Louisiana Lafayette University, a junior there out of Lafayette, Louisiana. Swift batting from the right side. The first pitch from Cox is too far outside for ball one. So 1-0 the count here in the top of the first inning. This fastball finds the outside corner for strike number one, evens up the count at 1-1. Third pitch into Swift. Looks like it might have nicked the home plate umpire there. Is a little reaction we see from him, but nonetheless, the count goes to 2-1.
I believe it might have hit the umpire in the ankle there. He seemed to be in a bit of pain.
Man, the ball misses for a count 3-1. So Drew Swift ahead here. Pitch taken on the outside corner for a called strike. 3-2, nobody out here in the top of the first inning. It's the first batter for the Miners against Grant Cox. He deals, swing and a miss. Drew Swift goes down swinging for the first out of the game. This is game 1 of 2 today. And for doubleheader regulations, this game will only go 7. Batting from the left side. We're now batting from the right side as he's a switch hitter. Is Danny Wright. He takes the first pitch in there for a called strike. So Grant Cox, left-hander, pitching from the windup. He deals. Swung on and fouled off towards the right side. Brings the count quickly to 0-2. So far for Danny Wright, batting .409 this season. 9 hits, 22 at-bats. He's down 0-2 and watches that one sail high for ball one. The 1-2, 1 out here on the top of the first. Pitch from Cox is taken too far low. A little quiet here in Mulkany Stadium. You can hear the umpires communicate as Wright takes that one too far outside to bring the count to 3-2. The second full count Cox has worked against the first two Miners batters. Working quickly from the windup. This one is a dribbler right back to Cox. He has it, turns around, fires over to first, and in time for out number 2. So Danny Wright hustling down the line, but just couldn't get there in time. As Cox helps himself out to get the second out.
Mention how the Miners have worked now 2 counts into full, which is good. Get the Bucs starter working early, so that way he won't be able to go as long as he wants to or throw maybe a mistake pitch in certain counts.
That brings up Spencer Henson, batting from the right side. Takes first pitch from Cox too far outside for a ball. Henson on his short season, 3 hits, 7 at-bats. As he fouls off that one over to the right side. So Spencer Henson from Oral Roberts, hometown Locust Grove, Oklahoma. One and one the count. 2 outs. Here on the top of the first, line drive into right field for a base hit. So the Miners get the first hit of the game as Spencer Henson gets a 2-out single, which will bring up Hunter Jump. Jump so far batting .235, 8 hits, 34 at-bats. Jump from the left side, takes the ball too far inside, brings the count to 1-0. Not a big lead at first for Henson, leaning back as it's a lefty as the pitch is taken on the inside corner for strike 1. The 1-1 the count, 2 outs. Top of the first.
Cox with that nice lefty motion just brings that knee straight up for every pitch, so it looks like he could go over to first if he wants to.
That ball sails over, Jump's head as he ducks out of the way for ball number 2. So Grant Cox is working quick. He just has to find the strike zone as he went 2 batters. Both went 3-2 counts as Jump lines this one into center field. That's going to be on 2 bounces fielded by Bro. So back-to-back 2-out singles for Spencer Henson and Hunter Jump. Gets the Miners in business here in the top of the first. And the hard part for that about Jump, he's a lefty facing lefty, so it takes him a little bit more time to recognize the pitch.
Yeah, he did a nice job there, not trying to do too much with it. It was an outside pitch from Cox and simply jumped through the hands out and slapped it over into the left side of the field. So great piece of hitting by the cleanup man.
So Tyler Bazzetti, who had 3 hits in the last game against the Bucs, stands in here from the right side. Ground ball over to first base. Bazzetti getting on his horse, trying to get over, but Cox beats him to the bag. So that will do it. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base for the Miners here in the top of the first. First at-bats for the Anchorage Bucs coming up next. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Welcome back into the broadcast. Connor Mills, Brad Walker with you. We're here in the bottom of the first inning. Miners had 2 hits, left 1 in scoring position as the Anchorage Bucs come to the plate here in the bottom of the first. Brady Corrigan on the mound for the Miners. Corrigan was a winning pitcher on record. on the first game of the doubleheader against the Pilots last Sunday. As first pitch swinging, Willie Escala fouls it back towards the right side. The stats on Corrigan so far: started one game, went 4 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, it was earned, 4 walks and 3 strikeouts, with an ERA of 2.25 as the fastball catches the outside corner as he's ahead of Escala, 0-2. Again, working quickly from the windup for both pitchers as this one is lifted into right field on his running back. Making the catch in foul territory is Hunter Jump, as that's a great catch as he went a long distance for that one.
Yeah, he really did, and he did a nice job of checking to make sure knowing where the fence was so that way he didn't run into it, and caught it just in time as that wind is howling in today, so not going to have a high chance of a ball flying out of here.
That brings up Jace Vandebrake. And when we get a break, we'll give you the Bucs starting lineup. But we're working quickly here with Corrigan. His pitch is found straight back. He has not thrown a ball yet to these two batters. Brady Corrigan, right-hand pitcher. Corrigan from Arizona State, Plainfield, Illinois. As a swing and a miss from Vandebrake brings the count to 0-2. No 2 the count, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. No score. Corrigan deals. This one's fouled straight back, right under the press box, as Vandebrake stays alive. So Jace Vandebrake, batting 200 on the season, so he takes a fastball too far outside for ball number 1. Vandebrake batting 200, has 4 hits and 20 at-bats, 2 doubles, and has an RBI to his name. Curveball skips from Corrigan, and the count evens itself out at 2-2.
Corrigan actually had to miss his senior year of high school because of an injury, so this past year with Arizona State was the first time he played since his junior year of high school.
Always tough to come back from injury and be as successful as you once were. This one is fouled off towards the right side. So the count remains 2-2, 1 out. We're here in the bottom of the first at Mulkany Stadium in Great Anchorage, Alaska, as this one is popped up shallow on the infield. Drew Swift calling everybody off, makes the catch, and there are 2 away. It took a little work from Brady Corrigan to retire Jace Vandebrake, but he's able to do so. As J.C. Correa steps to the plate. Correa in the last game between the Miners and the Bucs, he went 1 for 4. As he takes that one for a ball.
First pitch ball from Brady Corrigan, who's been delivering early in counts.
Last pitch, fouled straight back and out of the stadium. So he might fall behind once, but now he gets it even again.
Yep.
Correa batting from the right side. Watches one go by for a ball.
Correa, if that name sounds familiar, does. Brothers with Astros player Carlos Correa.
Fastball catches the outside corner for a strike. Brings the count even at 2-2. So infield straight away. Outfield a little shifted towards our right, and this one goes into right. Hunter Jump is under it, makes one-hand catch, and the side is retired. So no hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left on base. Matsu Miners come to the plate here on the top of the second. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. We're here in the top of the second. Defensive alignment for the Bucs today. Enos in left, Rowe in center, Vanderbreek's in right. Correa's at third, Escala at short, Treadaway at second, Veith at first, Cox on mound, and Ruiz is at the plate. Lefty batting Aaron Walters steps in. First pitch to Walters is ground ball over to first, just off a glove of diving Veith. Walters will stand on first, and that'll be a single. So Aaron Walters' first pitch swinging has a hard ground ball almost in the hole, bounces off the glove of Jordan Veith. And now he's standing on first.
Real tough play for Veith out there at first. He was diving, just couldn't quite haul it in, as that was an absolute smack from Aaron Walters.
So David Avitia, the first pitch into him is on the outside corner for a called strike. Avitia so far not getting the success that he's wanted, but he's always in there on the brand new indoor batting cages at Herman Brothers Field as Cox checks over to Walters. He found some success in the last game, went 1 for 4, had 2 RBIs. Takes the last pitch in from Cox for a ball. So 1-1 the count here in the top of the second inning. It's the Miners and Bucs. This one's fouled off towards the right side and out of play. So the count now goes to 1-2.
This is Cox's his second appearance really of the season, and his only appearance was when he started back on the 9th against the Oilers.
1-2 swung on, and this one's popped up shallow into the infield. Making the catch in the outfield is Jace Vanderbreek for the out. So Vitia is retired on the fly ball to right field. That one carried a little there as the wind is carrying some balls out there into right field.
Yeah, it really is. It's coming in kind of left, heading into us here in the press box, but definitely has that right twirl to it.
Kona Quiggle now at the plate as Cox checks over to Walters once again. He's back standing.
Yeah, Walters doesn't have too big of a lead. It's only the second inning, and Walters isn't really known for his speed too much.
Was really reading the lefty Cox here as he knew he was going to throw over as soon as he started his windup.
Well, Cox really opens up that back shoulder when he decides to go to the first, rather when he goes to the plate, doesn't open up nearly as much.
It's a little giveaway there. First pitch into Quiggle is too far inside and high for a ball. And you know, the Miners, they have 3 hits already. We're in the top of the second with just 1 out. Miners are second in the ABL with 64 hits. Their only issue, they're 5th with only 21 walks. As a pitch in from Cox to Quiggle is in for a called strike. So Miners are swinging the bats, are getting some hits, but they're also not taking the walks that can sometimes go with it. 1-1 the count, 1 out. Fastball in the turf for ball number 2.
Well, the idea with that is that Miners are doing a lot more swinging of the bat rather than just sitting back and looking at pitches where you see the high walk teams get those high walk numbers. Is the Miners really like to be aggressive and swing the lumber.
This one low and outside from Cox, so the count falls to 3-1.
Speaking of hitting, Kona Quiggle has definitely been one of the hottest bats to start the season so far in this Miners lineup.
3-1 to Quiggle, fouled off towards the left side. And Quiggle, in his last outing against the Bucs, he went 3 for 1. Has a .281 batting average. So he's seen the ball pretty well here in the early beginnings. 3-2, 1 out. This one is hit towards the right side and through the hole. Rounding second and headed for third is Aaron Walters. He'll go there standing. And on first with the single is Kona Quiggle. So Quiggle puts the bat on the ball, finds a hole. He stands on first. Over at third, Aaron Walters.
Nice two-strike hitting showed off pretty early here for the Miners. We saw Hunter jump back in the first inning, do a similar ordeal, just take where the pitch is and slap it out there. Kona Quiggle doing the same thing. Now the Miners have runners on the corners.
Like I said, runners at the corners. Brett Owen at the plate. Owen from Kansas State, hometown Blanchard, Oklahoma. He stands in against Grant Cox. Quiggle making some noise over at first. He's dancing around. Maybe got in the head of Cox as that one sails too far outside for a ball.
And that's exactly what Kona Quiggle's trying to do. He's just trying to get him to think about him more than the batter. In that case, maybe Cox will leave one over the plate. No one can drive in some runs to get another early run production against the Bucs.
Pitch into Owen. He's too far outside, and now he's ahead 3-0. So 3-0 the count, one out here in the top of the second inning. There's no score, but the Miners are threatening with runners at the corners. Quiggle's at first, Walters at third. Brett Owen at the plate, and Grant Cox on the mound. 3-0 is taken in for a called strike. Make that 3-1.
That one being right on the edge. Brett Owen took a step towards first before it was a called strike.
Owen did not start against the Bucs. Came in for defense, and now he shows his bat. Ground ball up towards second for one, over to first, and 2 away. So Brett Owen grounds out into a 4-6-3 double play, and the Miners are retired. So on 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 left on base, as the Bucs are coming to the plate in the bottom of the second. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. We're here in the bottom of the second inning, no score. Miners were threatening last inning, but were erased on the base paths thanks to a 4-6-3 double play. We told you we'd get to the Bucs lineup, and we will. Willie Escala leading off, Jace Vanderbrake, followed by J.C. Correa, Jake Veith, cleanup hitter, Logan Enos. Veith at the plate. Enos will follow. Brennan Bro. After him, Tanner Treadaway, Daniel Fredrickson, and Jose Ruiz. They will face Brady Corrigan, who sat down the first 3 Bucs he saw, and starts off Jake Veith with a called strike. We're coming to you live from Mulkany Stadium for the Matsu Miners and Anchorage Bucs. Pitch in from Corrigan's too far inside for a ball. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Magnificent beard from Jake Veith as he stands in from the left side.
Veith was a designated hitter in the last game as he swings through this one and fouls it off. Brings the count now to 1-2. Veith went 1 for 3. Reached base with a walk and had an RBI. Batting .545 so far this season. Doesn't have a lot of at-bats, though. He watches that one go by for a ball, high and inside. Brings count even now at 2-2.
Beef looks like he just came out of that wooded area behind the sports complex with that beard.
Foul ball from Veith towards the left side and out of play. So 2-2, the count remains. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. No score. Brady Corrigan on the mound. Jake Veith at the plate. The 2-2 swung on and fouled off towards the left side again. And we'll do it all over again.
Beef doing a nice job just protecting the zone, not trying to pull the ball, seeing it inside. Doesn't want to really get a hit out of it, so he's just fouling him off over there to the left side.
Making Corrigan work. That one is fouled straight back at the press box. 7 pitches deep into this count right now. Pitch number 8 coming soon from Corrigan. Corrigan, right-hand pitcher, pitching from the windup. Veith on the left side. That one struck him out. Strike 3 called. First strikeout for Brady Corrigan today. As after a 8-pitch at-bat from Jake Veith, retires him looking.
Veith, after doing such a great job of just fouling off those close pitches that could have been in the zone and may not have been, then looks at one for strike 3. Definitely not the thing you want to do.
Logan Enos at the plate. He watches a strike go by. As Corrigan's now speeding up his tempo, getting into his rhythm and repeating his mechanics. Held on to the ball a little bit too long there as that one bounces in the dirt. Evens up the count at 1-1. So Enos had an 0-4 his last time against the Miners, as the ball is a ball. Enos 0-4, but batting .292 on the season. He takes Corrigan's pitch in for a low ball, brings the count to 3-1. I believe the first 3-ball count we've seen Corrigan work today. As that one catches the inside corner for strike number 2. So 3-2 the count. 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. No score. This one's grounded over to Owen at second. He fields it cleanly, fires over to first, and there are 2 away. Once again, a proud sponsor of the internet broadcast. We'd like to thank the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Also, if you stop into a Napa Auto Parts store, tell them about us to enter a jersey giveaway. So at the plate, Brennan Bro swings through the first pitch from Brady Corrigan. 0-1 the count, 2 outs. Pitch is underway. This one's too far inside, bounces but blocked by Avitia. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Corrigan seems real zoned in right now out on the mound in a nice rhythm, controlling the tempo of this game.
This one's a ground ball, dove for by Aaron Walters. He can't handle it and bobbles it away as it goes into foul territory. So Aaron Walters, after making a diving stop, couldn't bring the ball into his hand. And then by the time he did, kind of lobbed it over, but too far away for Brady Corrigan to reach and get the out. So on first is Brandon Bro. Scoreboard credits him with a hit, the first one for the Bucs on the day. We have word from our official scorekeepers, and official scorekeeping will score that as an error. Error will be charged to Walters.
Yeah, as Walters just made...
Not to cut you off, but 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Corrigan pitching from the stretch first time as he throws a pickoff attempt over to first. Not in time.
Yeah, Walters did originally have it at first, but seemed to bobble it on the transfer. That's where I think the error is going to come from.
Yeah, he made a nice diving attempt and kind of just threw it too far wide for Corrigan to get. As another pickoff attempt to try to get Bro is not in time. So Tanner Treadaway at the plate. First pitch into him is too far inside for ball number 1. So far in the inning, a strikeout of Veith, Loganinas, ground ball over to second, and then Bro is on first with an error. Fastball from Corrigan's too far inside for ball number 2.
The first time this game, Corrigan's working out of the stretch, so we'll see that how it affects sort of his pitch count or what types of pitches he throws and the rhythm at which he delivers those pitches.
2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Fastball too far outside. Count now is at 3-0. So 3-0 the count. Corrigan staring into Avitia. Batting from the right side is Tanner Treadway. The pitch taken for a called strike.
Fastball all the way there from Corrigan, which is obviously a great pitch. Typically, most batters are going to take 3-0, and Treadwell was doing it right there.
So now 3-1, the count, 2 outs. Runner on first. The pitch is also in there for a called strike. Corrigan working back to fill up the count.
Corrigan now with a chance to just give up 1 hit and not have to even worry about that run over there on first.
So with a full count, Bro will be on the move. The 3-2. Swung on and ground ball towards a hole on the left side. Diving is Swift. He has it, fires, holds on to it. Looked to fire the ball. As I'll be credited with an infield single.
Yeah, Swift definitely gave full effort there in trying to get up. It probably made the smart play to hold on to the ball in case of probably what would have been a tough throw that could have ended in a very errant fashion.
So the ball hasn't left the infield here in the bottom of the second, but pitching coach Jeff Erlab just wants to go out there, settle down Corrigan, let him know, hey, you haven't given up any real hard contact yet. You know, don't unravel here and keep your head up. We'll get this final out and get the Miners bats going in the top of the third.
And another thing is Corrigan was just cruising when he was in the windup, and now that he's in the stretch, sort of struggling a little more now. I'm sure Erlab is just saying, as you mentioned, just relax, trust your mechanics, know you've been in these situations before, and just cruise through it.
So Daniel Fredrickson, the designated hitter, batting from the left side. From the stretch is Corrigan. He deals. Fastball too far outside for ball number 1. Fredrickson from Gonzaga University, a junior year, is from Woodinville, Washington. Washington and Illinois. He fouls it back towards the left side, brings count to 1-1.
Fredrickson actually started his career out at Washington State, where he batted .281 as a freshman, and then decided to move on over to Gonzaga.
Long look in from Corrigan. Count is at 1-1. The pitch. Fastball straight down the middle for strike number 2. Brady Corrigan, 1 strike away from getting out of this inning unscathed. Runners on first and second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. The pitch. Swung on, and this one is looped over towards the left side. Ranging over is Tyler Bassetti. He makes a catch in foul territory, and the side is retired. So 1 hit, 1 error, no runs, 2 left on base for the Bucs as the Miners are coming to the plate in the top of the third. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. We're in the top of the third inning. No score between the Miners and the Bucs. We're at the top of the lineup for the Miners. Swift, Wright, Henson due up here in the top of the inning. First time up, Swift worked count in his favor, went full, then swung through a fastball. First pitch into him is outside for a ball. And during the first game against the Bucs, he had 1 hit and 4 at-bats. As a fastball catches the outside corner, evens up the count of 1-1. Swift also had an RBI as a leadoff hitter. As another fastball is too far outside. Puts the count now at 2-1. 2-1 pitch. This one's grounded over to short. Fielding it is Escala, but he will not be able to make the play as Swift is on base with an infield single.
There's that Swift speed flying down that first base line, and sort of communication issues over there with Correa and Escala. Correa at the last minute sort of.
Yeah, so Drew Swift is on first base. Standing at the plate is Danny Wright. Swift is on the move, and he'll have a stolen base. So no throw from Ruiz as Drew Swift gets on second. So 0-1 the count now to Danny Wright. For Swift, that was his 5th stolen base as Danny Wright lifts this one down the right field line and is going to fall foul. Just foul. Wright smiling to himself. He knew he almost had an RBI double. As he has to now face a count at 0-2. So again, Swift now has 5 stolen bases on the season. He's on second base. Reached base with a infield single. Grant Cox on the mound. Danny Wright at the plate. Pitch into Wright. Swung on and missed for strike number 3. A high fastball gets Wright swinging. And that'll bring up Spencer Henson. Henson, his last time up, had a single line drive single into right field. 5 hits for the Miners here in the top of the 3rd inning, but no score. But with a runner in scoring position, Spencer Henson's looking to change that up. A long look back at Swift. Now he's ready. Off speed, misses outside for ball number 1. Henson against the Bucs went 2 for 3. No RBIs this time round, but he has a chance here with Swift in scoring position. Ground ball over to the left side. Fielded on the backhand. Henson on the move, trying to get down the line, but he's not able to as he will be thrown out. So Escala with the nice backhanded pickup deep in the hole on the left side as he's able to get Spencer Henson.
He did a nice job of looking back, Drew Swift to second, and then has a real cannon of an arm over there at short to get Henson.
So now there are 2 away here for Hunter Jump. Jump followed Henson with a single of his own in the top of the 1st. With the lefty-on-lefty matchup, curveball bends inside the strike zone for strike number 1. Jump 2 for 5, 3 RBIs. And the game on Thursday against the Bucs. Fastball in the turf, but Swift is able to steal and move over to third base on the pass ball. Cerise had a little hard time trying to find the ball. Swift, as soon as he realized that, got on the move. He's on third. Hunter Jump now can knock him in with a single, almost guaranteed. 1-1 the count, 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. Fastball's too low and outside for ball number 2.
Hunter Jump would love to bring in his Arizona State teammate. Just all he has to do is similar to what he did back in the 1st inning.
2-1 misses. Brings the count now to 3-1. So 3-1, 2 outs. Runner on third base. Miners looking to get the lead here in the top of the 3rd. And he walks him. Fastball in the turf from Grant Cox puts runners at the corners and Tyler Buzzetti at the plate. Buzzetti last time up had a ground ball over to first. And on the other hand, tossed. Could not beat out the pitcher to the bag. So he was retired. So 3-1 put out. His last time up. As he now comes up with a chance. Again with the runner in scoring position. Swift on third. Jump on first. Arizona State is on the base paths. As the first pitch into Buzzetti is for a called strike.
Miners jumped on the Bucs early when they played them a few days ago. And as we move into the 3rd inning, they would like to do the same thing.
Nevada Reno at the plate. Has a nice block from Ruiz. So if we go by colleges, Arizona State's on the bases. And Nevada Reno is looking to knock him in. As we said before, they're all Matsu Miners right now. Pitch into Buzzetti's too far outside. Brings the count now to 2-1 with 2 outs.
Yeah, all forming as one team. Not really mattered what school you're from. They're all searching for that same goal, for that 3rd title in a row.
That would be nice. They're tied for 2nd in the ABL. And this one gets right by. And it looks like it's going to hit Buzzetti. So it didn't sound like it hit Tyler Buzzetti from where we're sitting. But nonetheless, that saves a run. As Swift was on the move. head coach for the Bucs, is now out there to have a chat with his player. Nobody working on the bullpens for either team. And head coach Ken Hokoff is on the mound. So with the bases juiced, now bring up Aaron Walters. Walters hit the ball hard last time up. Ground ball over to first. Diving was Veith. Couldn't make the play. Would have been a hard one to make had he fielded it cleanly. So Walters with a very good chance here to get some minor runs. Lefty on lefty matchup. Cox's pitch too far inside for ball number 1. We're here in the top of the third inning. Miners nothing, Bucs nothing. Miners with runners on every base. As a little juggling catch is in there for a called strike. Ruiz, the ball popped out of his glove. Very quickly turned it around, made the basket catch. Nonetheless, 1-1 the count. Ground ball over towards the right side, and it's fouled. So the Miners down to their final strike in the top of the third with a 1-2 count and 2 outs. Runners on first, second, and third. Swift on third. Jump on second, Bazzetti at first. The pitch, this one's grounded, just foul towards the right side.
Walter's just ahead of Cox's pitches right now. Sort of let him need to come in the zone just a tad bit more and then smack one out there.
So 1-2, 2 outs. Top of the third inning. Bases loaded. Pitch from Cox. Swung on. This one's grounded into the hole. Second baseman Treadaway has it. Gets over to first in time. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. 3 left on base for the Miners. As the Anchorage Bucs are coming to the plate in the bottom half of the inning. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Scoreless game here in the bottom of the third inning between the Anchorage Bucs and the Matsu Miners. At the plate, number 15, Jose Ruiz. So first at bat for Ruiz today. He was the catcher last Thursday. I don't know for as he takes first pitch in for a ball. Defensive alignment for the Miners, right and left. Quiggle in center, Hunter jump in right. Pitch from Corrigan is too far inside for ball number 2. Infield alignment, Bassetti at third, Swift at short, Brett Owen at second, and Aaron Walters at first. The battery, Brady Corrigan, is that ball misses outside, is on the mound, and David Avitia at behind the plate. So 3-0 the count, nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Corrigan sets, he deals, called strike, 3-1. On the season, a batting average of 130 for Jose Ruiz. That fastball is too high for ball 4. So that's the first time the leadoff batter reaches base against Corrigan. That brings up the top of the lineup, Willie Escala. If you remember, tensions escalated when Escala scored. Little altercation at the plate between Avitia and Escala. It's going to be interesting to see with 2 games here if there's any hard feelings between the 2 teams. Escala with the bunt attempt fouls it back and out of the stadium.
Well, these guys just want to play ball, so I'm sure they've forgotten about it at this point and just want to do what's best for their teams.
So 0-1 the count, nobody out. Runner on first. The pitch is in there for a called strike. And sometimes you need a little dust up like that, bring a little camaraderie together. So the count is at 0-2. Nobody out, bottom third. The pitch swung on and fouled right back at Avitia. Home plate umpire checks to make sure he's all right. David's tough, he is. And the count will remain at 0-2. Escala having a successful ABL season as he fouls it off towards the left side, batting .343 in 35 at-bats.
Escala coming all the way up from the Sunshine State to play here in Alaska. Grew up in Miami and even attends school down there in Miami.
Different weather from there, huh? The 0-2 got him swinging. So Willie Escala goes down on strikes. And that's the first out here in the bottom of the third.
It's a big out for Brady Corrigan to strike out their leadoff hitter. And as you mentioned, a really hot hitter in Willie Escala to really shut down a bit tide of momentum currently for the Bucs.
That brings up Jace Vanderbrake. He flew out to Drew Swift over at short his first time up. First pitch to Vanderbrake, too far outside for ball number 1. So Jose Ruiz is the runner at first base. Corrigan pitching from the stretch. Vanderbrake hitting from the left side. Fouls one back. Brings the count to 1-1. We're coming to you live from Mulkany Stadium here in Anchorage, Alaska. Connor Mills and Brad Walker with you on the call. 1-1 the count. 1 out. Brady Corrigan. He's set. And fires over to first for a pickoff attempt. Not in time. Ruiz backsliding. So the count is still 1-1. As another pickoff attempt. Corrigan making sure Ruiz doesn't get too big of a lead over at first. Infield is mostly straight away. One change in the outfield. On our left side, Kono Quiggle playing left of second base. Pitch into Vanderbrake is popped up to second base, coming in over the catch, over the head catch for Brett Owen. Owen ranges all the way back onto the grass here at Mulkany Stadium to make the over-the-head basket catch. And now there are 2 outs.
Really surprised the right fielder Hunter Jump didn't come up and call off Owen as he was at a real awkward angle making that grab.
Well, great hand-eye coordination from Owen to make that catch. And Jump, he's playing a little far back in right. It was a long distance for him to try to get there. They were close, and I guess Owen just felt like he had the better opportunity to catch it, so he did. First pitch into Correa is fouled towards the left side. So 0-1 the count, 2 outs now, here in the bottom of the third inning. We're scoreless here between the Miners and the Bucs. Miners 5 hits, Bucs 2, and this one's lined right back at Corrigan. Bounces off his glove, fires over to first in time, side retired. So Brady Corrigan puts his glove up in defense and pops out, able to run over, recover it, throw it over to Walters at first, and that's how the inning ends. So for the Bucs, no hits, no runs, no errors, 1 left on base as the Miners come to the plate in the top of the 4th inning. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. As we enter the top of the 4th inning here, let's take a look at our standings. The Peninsula Oilers are at the top of the ABL with a 7-2 record. Then there's a 3-way tie for second. 4-5 records for the Miners, the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, and the Anchorage Bucs. And at the bottom right now is the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. Stepping into the plate is David Avitia. The Miners today have a chance to go over 500 with a sweep of this doubleheader. First, they'll have to get a run across, as we're scoreless in the top of the 1st, top of the 4th. Second pitch into Vitia's on the outside corner for a strike, evens up the count at 1-1. Vitia's last time up flew out to right field as the ball is sailing towards right. Very windy day as he takes a pitch on the inside for a ball. 2-1 the count, nobody out. Cox's pitch misses outside, brings the count to 3-1. So Vitia looking to reach base here. Get a leadoff batter on for the 2nd inning in a row, and he does. David Avitia with a 5-pitch walk. He's on first.
Cox struggling to find his command. To begin with, Avitia just took 5 pitches.
That brings to the plate Kona Quiggle, one of the hottest hitters, for the Miners. Quiggle coming into today with a 281 average. And he raised that with a single. In the top of the 2nd, he takes a called strike, evens up the count at 1-1. David Aviti is on first with a walk. There's nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. Quiggle at the plate. Grant Cox on the mound. Swing and fouled off towards the left side. That's going to go out of play. So 1-2 now is the count. Outfield playing Quiggle as an opposite hitter. A lot of room along the right field line. Right field towards the left of second base. Swing and a miss from Kona Quiggle, and he goes down swinging. So a strikeout for Quiggle is the first out here in the top of the fourth. That brings up Brett Owen. Owen had a ground ball up the middle. Second baseman Treadaway was able to get it. And he started a 6-4-3 double play. A bunt attempt from Owen. This one lands foul. Picked up by a bare hand on the hop. Was the catcher Ruiz. And everybody's going to have to go back. So looking to get some offense started here. Owen pops up the bunt. Just foul. He still has some life.
Yeah, he does. And Owen said he wants to be more aggressive earlier in counts. But right now, it just seems like he's looking to sacrifice, get a man over.
Not sacrificing here as he takes a ball high and away. So the count's now even at 1-1 with one out here in the top of the fourth. Avitio with a small lead on first. Foul ball from Owen. Brings the count now to 1-2.
So Grant Cox, who attends Louisiana Lafayette, also had his grandfather coached basketball at Louisiana Lafayette. So a lot of family history down there in Louisiana.
It's always neat when you can kind of follow in the footsteps of your ancestors, huh? So the fastball to Owen is too low. Skips in the turf. And the count is even at 2-2. Long wait for Cox. He's ready. Foul buck by Brett Owen.
And you mentioned it makes it a little easier on your college decision, too, when you have family ties to a school. And especially Cox, coming from Lafayette, Louisiana, grew up around the school, knowing that his grandpa was the basketball coach, probably was around the facilities all the time. So that college choice, I'm sure, was pretty easy.
And the ball bends around the strike zone, brings the count to full. Almost surprised he's not a basketball player. Instead, he's up here in Anchorage playing a little baseball. So 3-2 the count to Brett Owen. The pitch too far outside. Runners on first and second now for the Miners, both coming via the walk. So we talked about coming in a little earlier in the game, how they were struggling trying to get on base with some walks, only 21 on the season. Slowly increasing that total.
Yeah, and they've had runners on, multiple runners on. In fact, the first 3 innings just haven't had a chance or haven't really done anything with it. And they really need to now as we enter toward the middle stages of this game.
So Drew Swift at the plate takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike one. Swift struck out in the first, had an infield single in the third. Grant Cox still pitching here in the top of the fourth inning. The lefty's pitch is too far outside. Brings the count to 1-1. So the Miners had some chances at scoring some runs. Cox has done a nice job of erasing the base runners.
Mentioned how Cox is interesting. He's not playing basketball. His brother actually played football at Louisiana Tech.
Very athletic family.
Yeah, all around athletics, too, not just one sport.
So we have a grandfather that coached basketball, a brother who played football, and now Grant Cox pitching on the mound, playing some baseballs. His breaking pitch is too low and outside. That brings the count to 2-1.
Seemed very disappointed with himself after that pitch, jumping around on the mound. I'm sure he wanted more break out of it.
So it's 3 walks on the day. Charged to Cox. Swift batting from the right side. Takes pitch on the outside corner. Puts count now at 2-2. It's a nice painting of the outside corner from Cox, as he's able to do it multiple times to a couple Miners batters. The 2-2 swung on and fouled off towards the right side, hits the netting, and slowly rolls right back into the circle. Danny Wright just kind of tossing over to the Bucs. But the count remains 2-2 with one out. Runners on first and second here in the top of the fourth inning. There's no score between the Miners and the Bucs. Cox looking back at second. He's ready to pitch to Swift. Swift grounds this one off to the right side, and it's foul.
That one just had a little too much slice spin on it as it took really right in front of the first base bag, took a big hop over to the right. If not, that might have rolled down the line, and that could have been some damage for the Miners.
Well, Vitia, he may be a catcher, but he is fleet of foot. He can move a little bit. So he definitely would have scored. But that's hypothetical. As Swift fouls another one off, making some Bucs fans duck towards the right side. So now the count still remains 2-2.
Tell you what, if Miners haven't really scored much today, but they are working Grant Cox a lot, getting him really deep into counts, getting these big full counts, 2-2 counts.
So the 8th pitch of the at-bat is coming up, and here it is, in the turf. No play for Ruiz as both runners will advance on the pass ball. So now runners in scoring position. 1 out for Drew Swift. Count is at 3-2. On deck, one of the hottest hitters in the ABL, Danny Wright. He will get on base, barring a double play. The pitch into Swift. This one's grounded right at the second baseman. Treadaway over to first in time for the out, but not before. David Avitia comes around to score. So an RBI ground out for Drew Swift gets the first score of the game here in the top of the 4th inning. It's 1-0 Matsu with 3 2/3 of an inning. Grant Cox only surrenders 1 run. So the coach of the Bucs, Ken Hokoff, again talking to his players out there. And it looks like it's going to be a pitching change. So we'll figure out who's coming on. But the Miners scoring 1 here on the top of the 4th thanks to an RBI ground out from Drew Swift. We'll be right back. So the final stat line on Grant Cox. 3 2/3 innings pitched. He allowed 5 hits, 1 run. It was earned. 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Coming in relief here in the top of the fourth inning, looking to get the final out, is Tommy Kolowski. Kolowski from Anchorage, Alaska, a hometown native. A sophomore at South Mountain Community College. He faces Danny Wright, now batting from the left side. First pitch into Wright is taken for a ball. So 1-0 the count, 2 outs. Here on the top of the fourth, foul ball. We could almost catch that one, as I believe it found a home, and it did, all the way up here in the press area. So 1-1 the count, 2 outs. Danny Wright takes a pitch outside for a ball.
Kolowski said that if he hadn't played in a Under Armour showcase event in Arizona, he doesn't believe he would have went Division I JUCO, even though he had great numbers.
Pitch into Wright is on the outside corner, evens up the count at 2-2.
That's close.
So, yeah, you never know what's going to make or break you. You can be discovered anywhere. 2-2, 2 outs. Danny Wright, swing and a miss for strike 3. So he might have fouled it off just a little bit, but no cigar. 1 run on no hits, no errors, 1 left on base for the Miners. They come ahead here in the top of the fourth inning. They lead the Bucs 1-0. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Braden Corrigan still on the mound for the Miners. He's looking to go for a win here now, as Drew Swift with an RBI ground out brings the Miners ahead of the Bucs 1-0. First pitch into Jake Veith is too far inside. Veith attempting with a bunt as the first shift of the season for the Miners. Swing and a miss from Veith. So the infield alignment, Drew Swift is over near where shortstop would be. Tyler Bozzetti is now standing middle of the infield. Back on the grass, pitch into Veith is in for a called strike. Brett Owen is deep in the hole on the right side. And then Aaron Walters playing back at first base. Outfield shifted towards right. Swing and fouled off towards the left side. Corrigan, his last outing, went 4 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. So if he gets through this inning here, already better stats. As the ball rides high, to even up the count at 2-2. And the pitch. Too far inside. Brings the count to 3-2. So Brett Owen hanging out on the grass for the first time, as it's a turf infield, grass outfield. Pitch to Veith. Too far outside. It's ball 4. So Corrigan, after being given the lead in the top half of the inning, will have to settle down here in the bottom half as he hopes to keep the Bucs scoreless with a 1-0 lead.
He hasn't had trouble the past few innings working out of the stretch early in the inning. Looking to do exactly the same right now and try to keep his rhythm and keep shutting down these Buck hitters.
First pitch to Enos is fouled off and over the press box. If you want a bright side, Corrigan has allowed the first man to reach base now twice in a row. He was able to retire in the last inning. Looking to do so again. Pitch to Enos. On the inside corner for a called strike. So the count is now quickly 0-2. So far today, Enos grounded out to second base. Second time up to the plate right now. Back from the left side, down 0-2. Pitches in the turf. Brings the count to 1-2. There's nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Miners leading the Bucs 1-0. Jake Veith was the runner on first. Logan Enos at the plate. Pitch from Corrigan. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. So he got him looking. Brady Corrigan, after giving up the leadoff man to reach base, strikes out Logan Enos. There's one away here in the bottom of the 4th.
I think I smell paint because he just painted that outside corner. Brady Corrigan, what a pitch.
So that brings to the plate Brennan Bro as he lifts this one over to left field, giving chases Danny Wright, but it's going to go out of play and a couple rows deep. So good hustle from 3 of the Miners, Bassetti, Swift, and Wright. Wright would have been the closest. And of note, 2 hats were taken in the wind, Bassetti and Swift. Very windy day here in Anchorage, Alaska.
It is howling.
That's why I like we're in the press box. Corrigan's fastball rides too high. Evens up the count of 1-1. So 1-1 the count, 1 out. Bottom of the 4th. The pitch. Swung on, ground ball right up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Standing on second is Jake Veith. And on first with a single is Brandon Bro. So after facing a line drive to retire the bottom of the 3rd inning, Corrigan's unable to get that one.
Yeah, and Corrigan, luckily, he's given up 3 hits, but they haven't been really big damaging hits. They've just been little base hits just beyond the infield or through the middle of the alley. So definitely keeping the damage at a minimum, and he's been able to work out of it very well through the first 3 innings. So he just has to get that rhythm back and hopefully can squangle up a double play here to end the inning.
Tanner Treadaway at the plate. Swings and misses at the high fastball. 0-1. And you're right, there really hasn't been a whole lot of hard contact against Corrigan.
It's just really fooling these Bucs hitters, and really all they can do is just try to get the bat on the ball. And luckily, a few times it has worked and gotten through our infield.
So 0-1 the count, 1 out. Runners on first and second. Fastball paints the outside corner for a called strike. He's ahead 0-2. And as we look at the scorecard, only 1 ball is out in the outfield. That was a fly out to right from J.C. Correa. At the plate is Tanner Treadaway. He calls time after a long hold from Corrigan. We've had flyouts to short, flyout to second, flyouts to third again. Not a lot of hard contact. Not a lot of balls are leaving the infield against Corrigan. He misses outside with the fastball. Brings the count to 1-2.
Nice miss from Corrigan. Ahead in the count, 0-2. Has an opportunity to waste a pitch and did so.
So, runners on first and second. 1-2 the count, one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Miners leading the Bucs. This one's hit into right center field, and that's going to fall down for a base hit and maybe more. Rounding third and heading for home is Veith. Rounding second and heading for third. It's a 2 RBI triple for Tanner Treadaway. So Tanner Treadaway bringing the Bucs right back into the game as they now lead the Miners 2-1 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. We said that ball is carrying out to right, and that ball sure did.
Really did, as Treadaway just squared up on it, and then once he hit it, head down, ears back, and just flew around the base pass all the way over to third.
So a walk on a base hit comes around and hurts Corrigan here, as he'll try to get Daniel Fredrickson out. Ground ball over to, in that second, he recovers it and throws out Fredrickson. But a run does score. Tanner Treadaway scores from third. 2 outs now in the bottom of the fourth inning. But the Bucs extend their lead. It's now 3-1 Anchorage. Marie's at the plate. Bases are now clear. 3 runs are in the inning. 1-0 the count to Jose Ruiz. Corrigan pitching with some emotion now as that fastball misses low. As he pitches from the windup. Swing and a miss from Ruiz. Brings the count to 2-1. So after getting the lead in the top of the fourth, the Miners surrender the lead here in the bottom half. Pop fly over to center field. Konaquiggle calls everybody off. And finally, the side is retired. But not before the Bucs on 3 runs, on 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Anchorage now leading the Miners 3-1 as this game is headed to the top of the 5th. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. So after scoring 1 run in the top of the 4th inning, the Miners surrender 3 in the bottom half. They trail the Anchorage Bucs 3-1 as we are here in the top of the 5th inning. We're coming to you live from Mulcahy Field here in Anchorage. Spencer Henson at the plate. Takes the first ball in the turf for ball number 1. Henson so far today got on with a single, grounded out to short. Second pitch in, skips in for ball number 2. So Spencer Henson looking to help the Miners here by getting on base. This one, and he does. Line drive into center field, base hit. Right on cue from Spencer Henson with his second single of the day. Now bring up Hunter Jump.
Henson with an incredible spring, just keeps on keeping on as he's back on the Miners and producing very well for them.
Well, he pitched very well last year for the Miners. Now he's hitting very well. Hopefully that continues throughout the entire season. First pitch into Jump was in the dirt for ball number 1. So against Jump, infield straight away. Veith holding on. Henson takes a good secondary lead, but fastball into Jump is in there for a called strike. Puts the count at 1-1. Tommy Kolowski on the mound. He deals too far outside for ball number 2. I overheard the coaches talking about Jump yesterday. He batted .370 and didn't even have a full season with Arizona State. Second half of the season really panned out well for him as he takes a strike to bring the count now at 2-2. And from what I've heard, he's also lost a lot of weight getting himself in shape. So Hunter Jump looking for continued success. Takes a ball too far outside, brings the count to 3-2.
And no matter what sport you're in, if you're always trying to improve your body and your health, it's going to help out regardless.
So Hunter Jump, 3-2 count. Henson on first, and ball 4. Jump reaches base now for the 3rd time today and brings to the plate Tyler Bazzetti. Bazzetti so far ground out to first and reached by hit by pitch. Now has another chance to do some damage. Henson on second, Jump on first, Bazzetti at the plate. Kolowski on the mound. He pitches, swing and a miss from Bazzetti for strike number 1. Looks like he tipped it. Call from the home plate umpire. Couple pitchers warming up in the Miners bullpen as that ball is too far inside for a ball. So 1-1 the count. Nobody out. Runners on first and second for the Miners here in the top of the 5th inning. Miners are trailing the Bucs 3-1. Bazzetti with an open stance. Waits for Kolowski's pitch and drives this one over the bag, and it's a fair ball. Rounding third and heading for home is Spencer Henson. Rounding and holding at third is Hunter Jump. Standing on second base with an RBI double is Tyler Bazzetti. So there are no outs here. All 3 Miners who have come to the plate have reached base. 1 run is in. And there are runners at second and third for Aaron Walters.
Bazzetti, who's been plagued for most of the season watching those balls near third base just hop over the bag when he thought they were going foul. This time it goes his way when he's standing in the batter's box. And a huge double for the Miners brought to you by Tyler Bazzetti to bring this lead to within 1.
So now Aaron Walters facing a righty on the mound. Swings and misses at his first pitch. Brings the count to 0-1. 0-1 the count. Nobody out. Runners on second and third. The fastball misses low and outside, brings it to 1-1. Miners surrendered 3 in the bottom of the fourth. They've tacked on 1 in the top of the fourth and another one here. 2-1 now the count. Aaron Walters had a single in the top of the second and grounded out 2 seconds in the top of the third. He swings, fouls it off towards the right side. First base coach Tyler LeBron fields it, throws to a young fan who brought his glove out to the park. But now the count is even at 2-2. 2-2 the count, nobody out. Runners on second and third. Aaron Walters at the plate. The pitch inside. Ball 3. So 3-2. Runners will not be in motion as there's nobody on first. Walters hoping he could be on first. The pitch. Not sure what that one was, but that was high and outside. I'm going to go with an ethos there. I don't know what that was.
I believe that it was a curveball that just happened to slip off the edge of Kolowski's fingers, and he couldn't quite come down with it. Because I'm sure he wouldn't miss an ethos.
Well, we saw some disappointment from Kolowski as that ball left his hand. And it looked like it was going to be a curveball, but it just never curved. Well, bases are loaded. It's a good thing for the Miners. We're having some fun up here in the press box. As David Avitia steps into the plate, wipes his hand on the turf. Something maybe Kolowski should have done before that pitch.
Heading back onto the field, the Miners in a great position to really grab this lead back with bases loaded and nobody out. And I know it's the lower half of the order for the Miners, but really all their bats have been pretty equal throughout the season and very aggressive. And I know Avitia would love to drive in a run right now for his team.
Yes, he was. And yes, he will. Takes first pitch in for a ball. And again, that Kolowski pitch, we're going to call it a curveball as it slipped away from his hand, rendering ball 4 to Walters. Now he's behind in the count 2-0 to David Avitia. Avitia so far today flew out to right field and reached base and scored with a walk. His last time up. 2-0 the count. And it's a ball. 3-0. No outs. Runners on first, second, and third. Miners looking to get some more runs as 1 run is already in. Pitch to Avitia is taken all the way for a strike. 3-1 now the count.
Avitia only saw 5 pitches last time before he drew the walk, so wondering if it's going to be a similar situation right now.
3-1. Swing, and this one is grounded over to third. Fired home, diving off the bag, but the home plate umpire says he's there, and it's an out. So Avitia will be on first. The bases are still loaded for the Miners, but now there is 1 away. Kolowski looking to pull a rabbit out of his hat to try to get out of this one with the lead still intact. Avitia at first. Aaron Walters, he's at second. First pitch into Konaquiggle is in there for a called strike. Tyler Bassetti is a runner at third. So 0-1 the count, 1 out. Kolowski looking to pitch out of some trouble. As the second one is on the outside corner. Quiggle checking back, making sure that's there. So quickly behind now, 0-2 is Konaquiggle. The pitch, too far outside this time. Brings the count now to 1-2. We're here in the top of the 5th inning. Miners have 1 run across, looking to scratch across some more. Quiggle goes down swinging. So Brett Owen, now with 2 outs, will look to either tie or get the lead for Matsu. Bases are loaded. Top of the 5th inning. 2 outs. Owen takes first pitch for a ball. VT is on first. Aaron Walters on second. Tyler Bassetti at third. Owens at the plate. The pitch, ground ball over to short. It's going to be fielded by the third baseman. Underhand toss to second in time, and the side is retired. So Tommy Kolosky does pull a rabbit out of his hat. As the bases were loaded with nobody out, he only surrenders 1 run. The lead is still intact for the Anchorage Bucs as they lead 3-2. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. So the Miners are able to score 1 run in the top of the 5th, but no more as they left the bases juiced. They still trail the Anchorage Bucs 3-2 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. We're coming to you live from Mulcaney Stadium. Connor Mills and Brad Walker with you on the call. Brady Corrigan into pitch. As he remains in the game, first pitch from him is a fastball fouled back. So if he gets this out, it would be his longest outing of the season. He's gone 4 innings once before. Fastball misses high to Willie Escala. 1-1 the count. Line drive out into center field. Kona Quiggle ranging over into right center, makes a catch, and there is 1 down. So this now is officially Brady Corrigan's longest outing of the year.
And this is good for the Miners. 2 games today, so if you could use as least amount of pitchers as possible, that would be huge.
One thing in the Miners' favor, they have 2 off days in a row, starting Sunday and ending Monday. First pitch is in for a called strike to Jace Vanderbrake. Corrigan from the windup, he deals. Swung on, fouled towards the left side.
But it's also nice for the Miners getting that day off yesterday because of the rain out. So instead of playing 9 games in 7 days this week, they will only be playing 8 games in 7 days. As today, or this game, will be number 7, actually.
0-2 offering, fouled straight back. And the Miners did wait until 6 o'clock, 6:30 around to make it official as the game was rained out. It was raining predominantly all throughout the day. The 0-2 to Vanderbrake. He's fouled off towards the left side, giving chase to Tyler Bazzetti, but that's going to go out of play. So Corrigan and Bazzetti trying to catch the foul ball, but ran out of room. Jace Vanderbrake still at the plate. One away here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Bucs still leading the Miners, 3-2. Pitch from Corrigan, swung on and missed. Tagged by Avitia. And now there are 2 outs. So a nice pitch to retire Jace Vanderbrake from Brady Corrigan as he's looking for a scoreless inning here in the bottom of the fifth. He surrendered 3 in the bottom of the fourth. Fastball misses low to J.C. Correa. Correa so far flew out to right field and grounded out to the pitcher as he fouls back Corrigan's 1-0 offering. So 1-1 the count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Bucs over the Miners, 3-2. Fastball misses outside. Count is now at 2-1. The 2-1. Swung on, tapped over to third. Bassetti has it, throws over to first in time, and the side is retired. So not much happening for the Bucs in that inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. The Miners looking to get at least one more to tie the game as they are trailing the Anchorage Bucs 3-2. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. It's the top of the order leading off for the Matsu Miners here in the top of the sixth inning. In a doubleheader game in the ABL, we only go 7. So there's only 2 more times for the Miners to try and tie this game. Still on the mound is Tommy Kolowski. First pitch into Swift is a ball. So far, Swift struck out, had a single, then had an RBI ground out in the fourth. Second pitch into Drew Swift is also for a ball. 2-0 the count, nobody out. Top of the sixth. Bucs over the Miners, 3-2. As that pitch reaches the inside corner for strike number 1. 2-1 the count. Kolowski deals, fires in the dirt. Ball number 3. So Drew Swift would like to do what Spencer Henson did just the previous inning and get on base. Try to keep the train rolling. As he takes that one on the outside corner for a called strike. The count is now full at 3-2.
Seemed to be a take all the way there by Drew Swift.
Might have been a little low, but too close to take. As he fouls this one back towards the right side, that's going to go out of play and a couple rows deep. So the count remains 3-2. Tommy Kolowski pulled a rabbit out of his hat in the last inning, escaping with only 1 run scored after the bases were loaded with nobody out. He pitches to Swift. This one's lined into center field. Diving is a center fielder, Bro. He makes the catch. Line drive out into center. Playing a little shallow as Bro. He was able to make the feet first sliding catch to get the first out here in the top of the 6th. So Danny Wright, we've been saying he's one of the best hitters in the ABL. Hasn't reached base yet today. Came in with a .400 batting average. As he bats now from the left side. First pitch into him was a ball. 1-0 count. Swings through that one. Count now goes to 1-1. Scoreboard is a little behind. Missing a ball call. And now there are 2. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out.
This is really the first time since earlier in the season that Danny Wright's batted really up in the order. He's been sort of in the lower part of the lineup the past few games.
Pitch into right is too low. That brings the count to 3-1.
So that could mean that pitchers will pitch a little differently to him lower in the count rather than when he's up in the count or up in the order. Excuse me.
And that's ball 4. So 5 pitches, surrenders a walk to Danny Wright from Tommy Kolowski. And Wright really has hit his way up in the order. Maybe he's a little bit more comfortable down in the order. We saw him get on base a lot of times. Head coach Ben Taylor rewards him, moving him up. So he reaches base with a walk. There's some action going in the Bucs bullpen. And looks like one of the minors are getting a little backstretch out in the minor bullpen. During this time, I'd like to thank our sponsors, the Napa Auto Parts of Alaskan owner Jim Ruda. Also, go into your locally owned Napa Auto Parts, ask about the jersey giveaway for your chance to win. There will be a pitching change here in the top of the 6th inning. There's a runner on first. Danny Wright, Spencer Henson at the plate. We'll let you know all the information when we come back. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. New pitcher for the Anchorage Bucs. Number 19, John Altman out of Anchorage, Alaska. He comes in relief for Tommy Kolosky. Kolosky went 1 2/3 innings pitched, allowed 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 3 walks, and got 2 strikeouts. So Altman will come on to face one of the best hitters in the minors lineup, Spencer Henson. Henson, 2 singles today as he takes first pitch from Altman too far inside for a ball. Single out to right, single out to center, and he grounded out to short. One-0. Inside, 2-0. We're coming to you live from Mulkety Stadium here in Anchorage, Alaska. Miners are trailing the Bucs 3-2. On first is Danny Wright. Spencer Henson at the plate. John Altman on the mound. Falls behind on Henson, 3-0. Now we'll see if Henson has a green light here. This might be one of the best pitches he sees in the entire bat if it goes more than 4. He does not have the green light and takes it for a called strike. So now 3-1, 1 out, runner on first. Pitch to Henson, swung on, and this one's lined down the left field line. Oh boy, if that one was fair. You could only imagine.
Yeah, that one was cutting right through the wind. No stopping that ball.
So now the count is 3-2. John Altman, first batter. He faces is Henson. The pitch swung on, line drive into center field. This one will be caught. No fancy moves this time from Bro. As now there are 2 away. So the Miners only have 4 more outs to play with, as this game is only going 7. There are 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. They trail the Bucs 3-2. Hunter Jump at the plate. He's reached base in his 3 previous at-bats. Looking to make it 4 straight as he takes a ball from Altman. A righty on lefty matchup. Outfield straight away. A little deep and right. Swung on, line drive. This one is going to one hop. Diving attempt by Treadaway. And it's an infield single for Hunter Jump.
Interesting that Treadaway didn't try to get the out at second, as it seemed like Danny Wright wasn't quite there. It seemed like it was going to be an easier play to second than it was first, as he had to get up and throw across his body to go to first.
Well, his momentum was taking him towards second on that diving attempt. It was a little flare shot off of the bat of Jump. Treadaway slow to get up. But nonetheless, Miners with now a runner in scoring position for Tyler Bazzetti.
It seems like all Treadaway really would have had to done is kind of flip it from his glove or just on a knee, quick toss. But nevertheless, it's good for the Miners as they have 2 on and once again have a chance to take this lead.
So Altman on the mound. First pitch to Bazzetti is taken too low. Ball number 1. So far today, Bazzetti rounded out to third, was hit by a pitch, and had an RBI double in the top of the 5th. We're here in the top of the 6th inning with 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Pitch into Bazzetti, fouled back and over the box. So the count is now 1-1. Standing on second is Danny Wright. Over on first is Hunter Jump. Bazzetti will look to drive in a run here. Long hold from Altman. He deals on the inside corner for a called strike. Mazzetti now down to his final strike. Miners with the win here will go to 500 on the season. If they lose today's game, they've got another one right after this, as a curveball misses outside. Brings the count now at 2-2. So with the win, they're 500. With the loss, they are 2 games under 500. With another shot after this. Pitch into Pizzetti, too far outside. Ball 3. So the merry-go-round will be in motion. 3-2, 2 outs. Here in the top of the 6th. Miners scored 1 run in the top of the 4th, 1 run in the 5th. Hoping to tack on another one right here. The 3-2 to Pizzetti. It's in the dirt, and it gets all the way by. Rounding third and halting is Danny Wright as catcher Ruiz gets the ball. But now the bases are loaded once again for the Miners.
They're loaded for Aaron Walters, and we know Walters has that pop in his bat. The wind isn't exactly in his favor, but maybe things are starting to align, and this could be a huge hit for Aaron Walters.
Miners today have left 13 men on base. So they're getting on. They're just not getting around.
And through 5 innings already of work, to already have that number racked up is not too good.
But nobody will remember that if we get a win here today. So we're not sure when, but we now take notice. A pinch runner coming on for Hunter Jump. It'll be Braden Merritt. And we'll have another pitching change. John Altman gets 1 out, but he can't get the rest as the bases are loaded for the Miners. Aaron Walters at the plate. We'll find out what happens next when we come back. Coming on in relief for John Altman is Adrian Mardueno from Upland, California, a sophomore from San Diego State University. So Altman came in relief from Tommy Kolowski. Altman got 1 guy in Spencer Henson, allowed a hit and allowed a walk. First pitch into Aaron Walters is a little low for ball number 1. We are here in the top of the 6th inning. The bases are loaded yet again, as the Miners have left 13 men on base. Walters, foul ball towards the left side. So far today, Walters has a single, grounded out to second, and reached base on a walk. A walk that we had a little fun with, if I might add. So 1-1 count to Walters. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Bases loaded. This one gets away from Ruiz. Coming in to score is Danny Wright, and this ball game is tied. We heard one fan say Aviti at the plate. He is hoping, as that Miner fan would like Aaron Walters to reach. Count is now 2-1, 2 outs. Now runners at second and third. On third, coming into pinch run, is Braden Merritt. Swinging a miss from Walters. Merritt pinch running for Hunter Jump. And on second is Tyler Bazzetti. So Walters batting from the left side. Open stance. Going against Adrian Mardueno. Swinging a miss. Foul tipped. Hit the dirt. And he's going to be retired. So the Miners get one across on a passed ball, as this ball game is tied heading into the bottom of the 6th. More action ahead. Keep it here on the Matsu Miner Radio. So this ball game is tied here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's the Matsu Miners and the Anchorage Bucs tied at 3. Remaining on the mound is Brady Corrigan. Corrigan has pitched his way through 5. First ball into Jake Veith was in the turf for ball number 1. So far, Veith struck out in the 2nd, got on by a walk in the 4th, as that's ball 2, misses high.
I'm sure Corrigan's been talking to pitching coach Jeff Erlab and head skipper Ben Taylor, ask him if he's probably feeling all right, and he said he's feeling great, I would imagine, as he's still out there.
As that pitch just misses the outside corner. Corrigan's behind on Veith, 3-0. Veith, first batter here in the bottom of the 6th. Swings 3-0 at this pitch, and it goes to 3-1. Now, he did have the green light swinging, or you'd think that he might have the green light swinging. He might have just done that on his own. But unusual to see a batter when he's ahead 3-0 to swing at the offering. So the 3-1. Does he go around? No, he does not. So Jake Veith still gets on base. Veith reaches base back-to-back times on a walk. Brings up number 1, Logan Enos.
Now batting left fielder number 1, Logan Enos.
So pitching coach Jeff Verlab will take a walk to the mound. Coach over at Horizon High School in Phoenix, Arizona. He's going to have a chat with Brady Corrigan as they were able to tie this game up in the top half of the inning. We're here in the bottom of the 6th. Ball game tied at 3. The Miners, 3 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. The Bucs, 3 hits with 3 runs.
So Corrigan definitely needs an out here, possibly trying to work for the double play. I would imagine that's what Coach Jeff Verlab told him, is try to pitch to contact as he's moving on into this long start. As you mentioned, longest of the year so far.
Nobody out here in the bottom of 6th. The pitch rises too far outside to Logan Enos. 1-0 is the count. Jake Veith is a runner on first. He got on with a walk. Corrigan pitching from the stretch. He deals, and that's too far inside, maybe a little bit high. As you have to imagine, there's a short rope here for Corrigan if Enos gets on base. Nobody out, bottom of the 6th, runner on first. Corrigan said he deals. This one swung on and fouled back straight out of the ballpark. Count now goes to 1-2.
Corrigan attacking with a lot of fastballs right now, as he couldn't quite locate it early in this at-bat, but seemed to bring it back right there to get Enos to foul it off.
And it is cold, so you have to imagine we got to see if the breaking pitch is working, as that pitch is lifted out into right field. Moving over is Danny Wright now, who makes a catch in foul territory. So a good out for Brady Corrigan, as one is retired here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So with the defensive change, right now we have Kona Quiggle in left field. Braden Merritt comes in. He plays center. And over in right, moving from left to right, is Danny Wright. At the plate, Brandon Bro. He takes the first fastball from Corrigan, too far outside. So 1-0 the count, 1 out. Outfield straight away. Infield, double play. Holding on Veith, Aaron Walters. Fastball misses inside for ball number 2.
Corrigan starting to fall behind early in counts against these Bucs hitters. If he wants to keep surviving here later in this game, needs to start dominating on counts early.
Well, after this inning, as pitch to Bro is fouled off towards the left side. After this inning, there's should be only one more, but the ball game is tied. Doubleheaders only go 7 innings. We will go into extras, though, should this one remain tied after regulation. 2-1 count. And he did not swing. Pitch looked good, might have been a little outside. But the count now goes to 3-1. 3-1, 1 out. Runner on first. Corrigan on the mound. Bro at the plate. The pitch taken on the outside corner for strike number 2.
Nice outside pitch from Corrigan. Still trusting that fastball, trusting that he can locate it. Paints a nice picture right there.
So 3-2 the count. 1 out, bottom of 6. The pitch swung on, ground ball over to Pizzetti. He fires, going over to second for 1, over to first, not in time. So Bro grounds into a fielder's choice. Pizzetti is able to get the lead runner, as there are now 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Only one blemish on Brady Corrigan's pitching efforts today. That was the bottom of the 4th, where he gave up 3 runs. And now the manager of the Miners, Ben Taylor, takes a slow walk out onto the mound, and it looks like we will have a pitching change. We'll let you know the final stats on Corrigan and who the new pitcher is when we return. So Bryce Tassin, out of Southeast Louisiana, redshirt sophomore from Walker, Louisiana, will come in for relief on Brady Corrigan. There's a runner on first. But right now, as the stat line stands, Corrigan 5 2/3 innings pitched. He allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, all were earned. Gave up 3 walks and struck out 4 to give the Miners a chance in this ball game. Bryce Tassin on the mound. A Craig Kimbrell-esque stare in, dangling his pitching arm. Pitching right-handed pitcher. Tanner Treadaway at the plate. First pitch, swings, foul ball. There are 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Miners and Bucs are tied at 3. Miners 8 hits, 3 runs. For the Bucs, 3 hits, 3 runs. Runner on first is Bro. Ground ball. Brett Owen ranging. Can't make the play. So sliding and trying to make a backhanded play was Brett Owen. Struggled with the transition. Kept the ball in front of him. But now there are runners on first and second with 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. At the plate, Daniel Fredrickson. Fredrickson so far today flew out to our third baseman and then grounded out to second. On the ground out, it was an RBI. So Bryce Tassin looking to hold them scoreless now with the runner in scoring position. First pitch, this one is flown out into left field. Kona Quiggle ranging under it, makes a catch, and the side is retired. So Bryce Tassin comes in, faces 2 batters, gives up 1 runner on base, but holds them scoreless. No runs on no hits. 2 left on base. Matsu Miners come to the plate in the top of the 7th. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. It's the final inning of regulation here in the top of the 7th. David Avitia at the plate will face off against Adrian Mardueno. Mardueno, of course, coming in relief for John Altman, who pitched 1/3 of an inning, allowed a hit, no runs, none were earned, gave up a walk, and no strikeouts. First pitch into Avitia from Mardueno is for a called strike. Avitia trying to get a better grip on the bat. We've seen him multiple times now. Just kind of swipe at the little black pellets as he flies this one foul and almost onto the road. Stays inside the caged-in area. But now David Avitia is down 0-2 in the count. Myers and Bucs are tied at 3. Avitia fouls it off towards the right side again. So Mardueno was able to get Walters swinging to retire the top of the 6th. As this ball is just foul. Avitia grounding it up the left field line. Just curve foul. So the count remains at 0-2. The run coming on a pass ball last inning during Walters' at-bat. And it was charged to Tommy Kolowski. The 0-2, this one is poked into foul territory on the left side. Moving over is a shortstop, making the catch at the fence. A great play from Escala. So Escala using his height. A little hop in his step. He makes the catch.
He seems a little shaken up after catching it because it is that chain link fence over there, with just sort of a plastic molding covering it. But still, what a wonderful catch for out number 1.
Might have gotten a little scrape coming down. But he remains in the game at shortstop. And now there is one away. We are here in the top of the 7th inning. Kona Quiggle at the plate, swings and misses at the offering from Mardueno. The Miners left 2 on base last inning, bringing their total to 15. as Quiggle does not agree with that fastball outside and the call from home plate umpire, but he'll have to deal with it as the count is now 0-2. Of course, one of the things you can't argue is balls and strikes. 0-2 count. This one is too far outside. Puts the count at 1-2.
Yeah, interesting. Quiggle looked at that second strike because that was about the same location that first strike was that he swung through.
So trying to get a feel for the zone is Quiggle as he swings and misses at that one. As Quiggle goes down swinging yet again. So Kona Quiggle having a tough time at the plate today. Hopefully the Miners are able to bring him to bat again, as we have a pinch hitter for Brett Owen. It'll be the only catcher not in the game for the Miners in Austin Pianarini. So Austin Pianarini will come in to pinch hit for Brett Owen. 2 outs now in the top of the 7th inning. Miners and Bucs are tied 3-3. For Pianarini this season, he's batting .263. 5 hits in 19 at-bats. He bats from the left side, takes the first pitch from Arduino for a ball.
Pianarini's delivered a few times in big situations for the Miners.
So it'll be interesting to see in the bottom half of the inning what the defense will be as Pianarini strikes or swings through that one for a strike. Because now you have Danny Wright who can come in and go to second base. As Pianarini watches the fastball sail outside, brings count now to 2-1. So 2-1 the count, 2 outs, top of the 7th inning. Ball game tied at 3 between the Miners and the Bucs. Swing and a miss from Pianarini brings the count to 2-2. So the Miners now down to their final strike. If they want to end this one in regulation. Home team still has their turn at the plate as Pianarini fouls this one off towards the left side.
The Miners would really like to get a win here. They had such a great start by a Brady Corrigan, allowing him to go so deep in this ball game, only using 2 pitchers right now. It would be unfortunate if it went in extras and they had to use more.
The only thing in their favor, they have 2 off days following this. The 2-2. Outside, ball 3. So 3-2, 2 outs to Austin Pianarini. Infield straight away. Second baseman a little deep. Outfield shifted towards left. The pitch, swing and a miss. He got him. The Miners go down quietly. No hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left on base. As the Anchorage Bucs are coming to the plate, they're looking to walk it off here in the bottom of the 7th. We'll see what happens when we return. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. So in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Bucs have Jose Ruiz, Willie Escala, and Jace Vanderbrake. They look to send this one and keep it in regulation. First pitch from Tassin is a ball. They can walk it off here in the bottom of the 7th. They're only going 7 with the doubleheader. This one's ground over to Swift. He has it. Throw over to first is in time. 1 away. Now there's 1 out. Top of the order coming up for the Bucs. For the Miners, they hope this one goes into extras as they would like to go 500 on the season, bring their record to 5-5. Should the Bucs win, they'll go to 500. First pitch from Tassin to Escala. Escala just making a nice play in the top of the 7th, jumping at the fence in foul territory. Second pitch into him, ground ball over to third. Charging in is Bassetti. He has the ball, fires over to third, but it's going to be thrown away. Rounding first and heading for second is Escala. He's going to head for third. Escala, the throw, and it's going to be... That ball is not thrown away as Bassetti has it, but on an error by Bassetti, Escala is able to reach all the way over to third as the winning run is 90 feet away.
That was a tough play from Bozzetti to try to make the play on the quick Escala. Fortunately, throw off the mark.
Well, the ball was it was thrown into foul territory, closer to the home plate side. So Walters had to come over and try to get it, and also deal with the Scala charging down the line.
It also seems like Scala diving into third, got some of those turf rubber pellets, because we have this turf infield here in Mulcahy Stadium. Seems like he got one right in his right eye. And that's kind of a negative with these turf fields, is when you dive or slide in, all those pellets really just fly up, and some have a chance to get in your face. Shown right there.
So at this time, I'd like to thank Napa Auto Parts, the official sponsor of your internet broadcast for the Matsu Miners, and owner Jim Ruda. If you're listening in from Alaska, stop in to Napa Auto Parts. Talk to him about the jersey giveaway. Enter for a chance to win. It looks like Escala's okay now. Now bring Jace Vanderbrake to the plate. So far today, he flew out to short, popped up to second, and struck out. And they're going to intentionally walk him. So the Miners will intentionally walk Jace Vanderbrake to bring up J.C. Correa and put the double play option on the field.
I wouldn't be surprised if they walk Correa too to load the bases, considering the winning run is on third, and that way you have the force out at home rather than having to tag Escala coming in.
So right now, infield is in, but they're going to be intentionally walking Jace Vanderbrake.
And the MLB, you normally will see, you just have to simply tell the umpire that you're going to walk. But here in the ABL, it's still got to throw the 4 pitches.
And that's that's kind of a new rule in the MLB, implemented within the past 2-3 years. As Jeff Erlab is now going to talk strategy with Bryce Tassin. Nobody is up in the bullpen for the Miners. All our pitches are on along the fence. Watching in to see if Bryce Tassin has any magic in him, as the Miners look to take this one into extra innings.
As those relief pitchers probably want a better view. This is a really tight point in the ball game. They're normally sitting behind the fence on a bench. Now that they're outside of that little cage, they can hang out into the infield a little bit and see it just a little better.
So runners will be at the corners. Vanderbrake is at first, Escala at third. Escala reaching via error. And through that error, he was able to run all the way around to third base. At the plate, it's going to be 14, J.C. Correa. First pitch is a ball from Bryce Tassin.
They may pitch around Correa. They may not look like they're going to intentionally walk, but I doubt Tassin will deliver a strike anywhere near the plate.
Well, that's a strike and flown out into right field. That one's going to fall, and the ball game is over. The Anchorage Bucs are able to walk it off here in the bottom of the seventh inning in the first game of the doubleheader. There's a pile up and some water being drizzled on J.C. Correa. But the Miners now fall on the season to a record of 4-6, as the Bucs now are 5-5. We thank you for tuning in to the broadcast from wherever you are along the East Coast all the way to the West Coast or even here in Alaska. Game 2 will be coming up shortly. Stay tuned to YouTube. Check all the social media links as that'll be posted out shortly. Again, for Brad Walker, I'm Connor Mills. Thank you for joining us.